remember that trip to the coast. It feels just like that night, only warmer.
Oh, yes, and then the waiter spilled the soup right in your lap. I could not stop laughing. This night has been perfect. And it's just the beginning. I feel so hopeful.
Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into a truly captivating story about two very different people, a forgotten building, and the quiet, almost invisible power of parallel restoration. We're going to explore a narrative that beautifully intertwines the physical repair of an old historic theater with the emotional healing of the human heart. It is this deeply cinematic journey of finding hope right in the middle of ruins. So, let's step inside. I want you to picture this moment like a scene straight out of a Hollywood movie. Think ultra-realistic, 8K, HDR quality with stunning cinematic lighting, a shallow depth of field, and this gorgeous, soft, warm color grading. We are standing inside a beautifully abandoned historic theater. Thick, golden sunlight is streaming heavily through broken stained glass windows, catching highly detailed dust particles floating gracefully in the air. In the center stands Michael, a sophisticated 50-year-old architect in a perfectly tailored charcoal suit. And walking toward him is Emma, a confident 32-year-old documentary filmmaker in a classic beige trench coat, holding a professional cinema camera. A warm smile, immediate romantic eye contact. The scene is bathed in this incredible light that makes time literally stand still. So let's break down the stark contrast between our two protagonists here. For years, despite his massive professional success restoring buildings, Michael's personal routine has completely flatlined into a loop. Work, home, silence. He's entirely isolated. Emma, on the other hand, operates on a totally different wavelength. She's a vibrant newcomer to the city, and her core belief is that every single person carries a story worth telling, even if they've completely forgotten it themselves. She actively seeks out beauty in forgotten places, and frankly, forgotten people. Part 1. Meeting in the Ruins. Let's look at their unexpected encounter. As Michael is standing there, totally absorbed in examining his faded architectural drawings in the dusty theater, Emma approaches. With her camera slung over her shoulder, she brings this incredible warmth and curiosity into the space and asks, "Excuse me, I'm filming a documentary about this theater. Are you the man responsible for bringing it back to life?" It's a very simple, professional question, sure, but it's delivered with such an infectious confidence that it pulls Michael right out of his blueprints. Now, what's really interesting here is when Michael humbly gives the building all the credit for surviving decades, Emma laughs and points out that buildings don't usually speak. And Michael's response? They do, you just have to learn how to listen. This isn't just a throwaway line. It is absolutely the thematic anchor for our entire story today. This mindset is what fundamentally shifts Emma's approach to her documentary, changing her focus from the physical structure to the man actually restoring it. Part 2. The art of listening. Finding connection. Over the following weeks, the dynamic completely changes as Emma starts putting the camera down more and more. Their conversations deepen into these profoundly personal observations. Michael explains how the physical damage is actually a historical record. Cracks in the walls, they aren't just damage, they are the story of an earthquake. A repaired wooden beam is a testament to human determination. The restored paintings are quite literally hope refusing to disappear. In return, Emma shares her own stories of fading memories in ancient castles all across the globe. The building's physical elements are perfectly mirroring their growing emotional connection. And for the first time in years, Michael actually looks forward to waking up. Part 3. The balcony question. After hours. Picture the theater after the workers have all gone home. The dust is settled. Michael and Emma are sitting side by side up in the balcony, looking out over hundreds of empty seats. Emma whispers to him to imagine the place filled with people again. Michael smiles, admitting he has imagined exactly that every single day for 3 years. But then, Emma pivots with a deeply personal question. And what do you imagine for yourself? Michael hesitates. He realizes, with this heavy vulnerability, that he stopped asking himself about his own future a long, long time ago. Emma's gentle push, suggesting that maybe it's time to ask again, lingers in the air long after they part ways for the night. Part 4. Rediscovering the light. Transformation. Let's watch how this connection builds over the coming months. Let's actually track this physical transformation, because it's phenomenal. 3 years ago, it was a silent, forgotten ruin filled with broken wood. Fast forward to just months ago, and fresh lights were finally illuminating the restored murals on the ceiling. A few weeks ago, luxurious velvet seats completely replaced the debris. And today, the ultimate sign of life. Music finally echoes through halls that had been dead silent for decades. The masterpiece is reborn. But here is the crucial point. This physical repair is perfectly mirrored by Michael's own internal changes. First off, he begins to laugh more easily, finally breaking the heavy silence of his past routine. Soon, he's smiling without forcing it. The joy is becoming totally genuine. Eventually, he even rediscovers his long-abandoned photography hobby. As the building comes back to life, so does the architect. It's like he's picking up pieces of himself he thought were lost forever. And Emma? She notices every single detail. This whole new energy eventually leads them to take a beautiful Saturday morning photography trip out to the countryside. They trade the dusty theater for rolling hills, golden sunlight, and wildflowers dancing in the breeze. Wandering past old stone bridges, they really open up and share profound vulnerabilities. Michael admits he once had this burning dream to travel the world, rather than just hiding behind architectural blueprints. Emma confesses that despite constantly being surrounded by people for her films, she actually harbors a deep, hidden fear of loneliness. It's a trip that completely, undeniably solidifies their bond. So, they're standing together on this hill as the sun disappears below the horizon, overlooking the valley, and Emma whispers, "It's beautiful." Michael agrees, looking out at the landscape. But Emma smiles and corrects him. "I'm talking about this moment." It is right here that something finally clicks for Michael. Standing there in the golden hour, he realizes, for the very first time in years, he is no longer afraid of the future. Part 5. The Grand Reopening. Ready for the world. Fast forward a few months, and the theater is finally unveiled. So, restoration really takes on a dual meaning for us here. Literally, it is the physical repairing of a historic building, which Michael has expertly accomplished as hundreds of guests are now applauding beneath sparkling chandeliers. But beneath all that applause, Michael has a quiet, powerful realization. True restoration is the healing of a human heart through patience, kindness, and hope. He had restored way more than just a building. With Emma's help, he had restored himself. After the ceremony, which was super lively and crowded, the scene shifts outside. It is wonderfully quiet. They are standing beneath a breathtaking sky completely filled with stars. And neither of them rushes to speak. Because, sometimes silence says everything. The frantic energy of the restoration is over, leaving just the two of them in the peaceful aftermath of a completed journey. This brilliantly illustrates the thematic climax of our story. Michael turns to her and admits, "I thought my best chapters were behind me." Emma smiles gently and replies, "Maybe this is where the story really begins." He reaches for her hand and she takes it without any hesitation. As they walk into the quiet city, they don't know exactly what tomorrow brings, but they have learned that the absolute strongest love grows organically out of friendship, respect, honesty, and shared dreams. And that brings us to the end of this beautiful story. But before we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn Emma's lingering question from the theater balcony directly onto you. What do you imagine for yourself? When you look past your daily routines and the blueprints of your own life, what stories are waiting to be restored within you? Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this leaves you with something wonderful to think about.